welcome to Bears Banter. Victory Sunday. My name is Bernard Muhammad. Today on the broadcast, we got Keith Flournoy, Guy Moore, and Mike Quick Alton. Tammy won't be able to make it. Jay is at the game. I know he got soaking wet, but he's going to pop in whenever he could draw off his phone. How y'all doing today?
You got to do the
right.
He's soaking wet. He's dripping. Soaking wet. This is not a game I would have want to go into. Not at all.
I think more of the moisture came from the doggone announcers than it did on the field.
Still
voice, wasn't it? Okay.
Right. Hey, what do you call those little slides that you put in the backyard and you put them on the ground and you put a little water
slide?
The slip and slide.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what was going on today at Soldier Field. I mean, I guess at the end of the game, to take that victory lap, the Bears player when it created their own little slide. That's good to see players having fun at the victory like that.
That was cool. Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, so the Bears win today 19-10 against the 49ers. I mean, it's so good to start off the year with a victory. All of us got on our Bears gear. Starting the year off right. I mean, man, nothing like a V.
I ain't get my shirt. I just thought about that, man. I ain't get my shirt.
Okay. I think I got mine on under here. When I get a chance, I'll pull it off. Yeah. Hey, Plank, I mean, what was the key to this victory today?
Well, actually, the key to the victory was the Bears stayed together. They executed the basics and the fundamentals. They kept the penalties low. They kept being committed to the run game, even when it wasn't working. They kept their commitment. They kept trying to play as well as they could within their own parameters. And at the end of the day, they made sure they stayed together as a team. The Bears ended up, I think, with 3 penalties for the entire game.
Yep.
One being the dumbest penalty I have ever heard. In
Wax on.
I'm going to need my brother Mike Quick Alton to explain that penalty to me.
Yes, please do.
No comment, because I've never seen that with myself. I've never
seen it.
I was like, wait, unsportsmanlike for a towel? Wait, what was the towel at? And he's like, it was on the field trying to drive and play. I was like, I've never seen that before. Like, I've never seen it, never heard it. I was going to look in the rule book to see exactly how that's ruled, but
hey, we'd like to welcome Mo Cross to the broadcast. How you doing, Mo?
What's up, Mo?
What's up, Mo?
All right.
You did a hell of a job last week, my brother.
Huh? What you say?
You did a hell of a job last week, my brother.
I appreciate it, man.
Hey, for those who are new to the program, the reason we asked Quick, was he familiar with that penalty? Because Quick is a referee, so he's familiar with those. He said he's not familiar with that particular penalty.
Not that one. not that one. You know what? That may be on page 99 in the rule book. I only read the 35 so far, so I have not gotten to that rule yet. So I have not. Just haven't. This is not something that I'm trying to do. I have no idea.
Okay. Hey, somebody said, "What's up, fellas?" Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
Okay, hey.
But remember, they kept talking about, all the announcers said that the Bears don't have NFL talent. They act like the guys that are on the Bears team didn't play in college, didn't make all-star teams. They just, was out there thrown from the shopping mart last week. And I think what's going to happen is you got a lot of announcers are going to have to eat some crow. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Bro, I was talking off camera. It's something else they eating. It ain't got nothing to do with a crow. Let's just say they don't need a towel because they ain't finished yet.
Hey, man, the reason I got on late because I was collecting my dues, man. Collecting my dues. Hey, man, I'm telling you.
Get that bag, bro.
I call it the Bears bag.
Yeah,
it's better than the Sanders little sock.
I know, right? Because you got them from some hoes,
right? But like I was talking to my brother, man, because he was high on the Trey Lance bandwagon. Not taking nothing away from Trey Lance, but college-wise, by him missing that full year, that played a big part, man. And then you got to think he wasn't in a top-tier school. They wasn't playing Division I talent all the time. So now you're in a league where everybody, you know, was probably in the ESPN top 100 at one point. So it's like now you're here and your talent, you got to showcase. You got to get used to it. The league is way faster. Now you playing everybody like they in the SEC. You know what I'm saying? Or the Big Ten. So he has to pick it up. Good thing that you know, they gave the Bears, they started letting them kind of play within themselves in the second half. It was like you saw them open up the playbook, like, you know what, we don't got nothing to lose. Let's get this boy feet wet, meaning Justin Fields. They got his feet wet, man. He looked like I think in the long run, probably by like game 6 or 7, we gonna start talking about like, okay, he's becoming one of the top tier quarterbacks in the league.
Just want to mention that everybody's feet was wet out there today. Just want to mention that everybody had wet feet today. I didn't think anybody's shoes would dry after that one. Go ahead.
Them announcers generated some other type of moisture.
Right. Yeah,
hey,
man.
let's look at Justin Fields' stats. Justin Fields threw for 2 TDs today for 121 yards with an 85.7 passer rating and 1 INT.
Well, even thinking about that first touchdown, that was just a schoolyard play.
Right. He had vision, man.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, you don't have that many quarterbacks that could make that play.
Right.
So
that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. I was talking a little bit earlier on that. What happened there? That was just what they do on the scramble play. The quarterback is still trying to make a play, trying to look for a receiver downfield, and at least they practice what to do in that situation. You saw Montgomery ended up going through the middle and taking 2 defenders with him, and that's what the receiver opened. That open, I was afraid he was going to drop it, but I'll take it. All that just goes back to coaching. Coaching staff.
Hey, how many times in recent history where the Chicago Bears had a player open for like that and one we either overthrow the guy or drop it, right?
Wait. Man, Williams is not even here.
You said Williams out on the team?
Yeah, Williams not even here anymore, man. I mean, come on, man. Come on. We shouldn't even be blasting that brother like that. He's not even here.
Hey, what I really want to know is, man, what happened to Santos, man? Those little extra points.
Did you see what they was kicking in?
It's wet, man.
But I'm saying, listen, bro. There's no excuses. You know what I'm saying? Like, you in the league now, you play in Chicago. It's gonna be plenty more days where it's worse weather outside. So, man, either you gonna make these extra points. It ain't like it was 40-yard attempts. These were extra points, man. So I'm a no nonsense type of person when it comes to that. You in the NFL, you got people that's free agents who can probably make that with their eyes closed. So, man, you don't want to keep doing that. We already, kind of iffy at special teams since Robbie Gould left. So, man, let's make it happen. He got to make those, man.
Right.
He didn't get a chance to get the towel down. That was what it was.
The towel would have dried it up for him.
Yeah, it would have dried
Throwing
it up.
out the flag. Yeah.
I ain't never heard that call before.
Yeah.
Ever.
Hey, so he couldn't referee in Pittsburgh with the terrible towels.
Right, because all them towels that get dropped,
unsportsmanlike conduct or 68,000 fans. Shoot. But you know what? Hey, I'm gonna tell you what I took away from this game, man. I mean, anybody who watched the Bears as a Bears fan, you can see it's a completely different squad. It's a completely different regime. I was talking on the text. It's like, regardless of, what's sloppy and all that stuff, but to have a plan, 2, they're running the ball. Number 3, guys believe. When you get a lot of people look at coaches, and this game, as sloppy in the way that it went, totally makes Nagy look bad because you got a guy that understands how to run a football team. You know, guys would panic, they freak out. It's like, look, we got this, we good. This is what I need you to do. Boom, boom, boom. Number two, it was weird. They were throwing the perm offense out there. I say the perm offense because I ain't see no curls. They was throwing. I mean, I'm looking at some of the run, the routes they were running. I'm like, oh, this is different, you know. But first game that they've all played together, first like real. I can't be mad. And they played in this garbage out here, and they came out with a W. Like I say, you can win ugly, but it's always about the W. Salute.
Yeah. I mean, it's a belief system, man. Like, you know, even when Nagy came, they believed in him. But they figured out that he couldn't coach. He was afraid to. He put too much onus on Trubisky, who wasn't ready. You know what I'm saying? I know right now Justin Fields, he's not ready. So they're not going crazy with the plays. They got a running game to lean on. That's what they should have did with Trubisky. At the time, they had Jordan Howard. Man, lean on Jordan Howard, man. You know what I'm saying? But what Nagy did was he took the onus of, I'm the quarterback whisperer, so I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna call shotguns when we on the 5-yard line at the goal line. You know what I'm saying? So, but with this coach, he's an X's and O's guy. You can tell he focuses strictly on the defense because, you know, we know him from Indianapolis, but before that, he was a great secondary coach. So now he's got our guys playing, man, and man, we look good, and especially like we're young too. So, man, it's gonna be hard to you know, kind of pick and see who's gonna stay on the roster next year when we got all this free money.
Hey, but you know what though?
One of the viewers just made a comment that the halftime adjustments were great.
They were. They really were.
I thought they kind of opened it up a little bit more, and
absolutely,
and the whole offense looked a little more comfortable the second half. And you know, and I hate to go back to last year, but
we have to.
Times where you would look at a game and you were like, "Where are the halftime adjustments?" Hey, what's up, Sharon? How you doing?
Hey, Sharon.
All right.
They are different. You know what? I'm gonna tell you, when you don't have a micromanaging narcissist as a coach, it changes the culture. Something. I mean, quick. All you guys have played ball, me on a baseball, and I can tell you right now, what happens is there's like maybe out of 1,000 players, there may be 3 of them that are uber talented. Everybody else is just straight talented. The separation is the will. Like you can look on a bench on an average pro team, or I mean, like I said, from a college standpoint, I could look down a bench and there's a guy that wasn't starting as a Kodak All-American. So you get Trey Lance come from this situation. He comes in. It's completely different. It's much faster. It's like a deer in headlights. I think Justin had a plus side being at Ohio State, but nonetheless, the game was a little fast for him, but he's able to adjust because, you know, he was always playing against great, you know, guys. So now you got this brother come in. It's kind of nice to have a coach to let the offense, defense, special teams guy do stuff, because I don't care how great you are. When you got 2, 3, 4 people telling you 2, 3, 4 different things in your ear during the game, it's crazy. Love what I saw in that respect.
The Bears benefited on a couple of turnovers too, key turnovers. The first one by Debo. So that, I mean, they were in position to make some plays, all except for Eddie Jackson again. That I don't know, that dude. Whew.
You just run.
What was it saying? They said Jalen Johnson.
There was an Eddie Jackson fight today. He made a number of tackles, so he made some career decisions.
Yeah. So to piggyback off
Eddie Jackson,
Eddie made the key play that boosted the momentum of the team. When he got that pick, that's when you saw the Bears start opening up the playbook. Right after that, it was just like, all right, now it's time. We gonna run. We had the bench guy, Herbert. He came in. He was dominant. He played better than
he did.
You know what I'm saying? So, man, you saw Fields just start just unleashing. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, this is, you know, something that they can harp on for next game. You know, and just the rest of the season and just improve, man, for real.
But the other thing I like too was what Plank said real quick. 3 penalties for 24 yards. And when they ran plays, 9 seconds left, they run and play. They wasn't letting clock run down. The clock management was great. I mean, it's weird to me, man. It's like, who is this team? They look like a completely different regime, man.
It's called discipline. No, just one more thing to troll Nagy. Mr. Bissy just beat the Bengals. Just so y'all know. So both of his quarterbacks that he didn't have any success with, both won today.
And see what happened when they both go under real coach?
Right. Yeah, the Bears look real disciplined today, and that's the culture. And when you play in a system that holds you accountable, you get different results.
Yep.
How many penalties did the 49ers have for how many yards today?
Like 12 was 11.
I think it was 11 or 12.
Yeah, they had
over 100 yards in penalties.
100 yards. Okay. And you know what? And last year, that was us making those penalties.
Mm-hmm.
That was us making the bonehead plays after the play was over. But you know what? I said it, and many of us said it on this broadcast, is when the players lack discipline, it falls into coaching. It falls into coaching. These guys showed a lot of discipline today, but I do want to go over some of the stats, and then we kind of like chew on some of that as we kind of drill down on the offense. Fields was 8 of 17 today for 121 yards. He averaged 7.1 yards, a completion. Khalil Herbert, let me put my glasses on so I can see this. Khalil Herbert had 9 carries, 45 yards. Justin Fields had 11 carries, 28 yards. David Montgomery had 17 carries, 26 yards. Total for the team was 17 carries for 99 yards. Trey Lance, 13 attempts, 28 completions for 164 yards for a 50.3 passer rating with 5.9 yards per completion and 1 INT. Go over their rushing yards real quick. Trey Lance led the team with 54 yards on 13 carries. Debo had 8 carries, 52 yards. Elijah Mitchell had 6 carries, 41 yards. And Jeff Wilson had 9 carries, 12 yards. That was the totality of the offensive production. So with all that said, we know the offense kind of didn't look good the first half, but what did the Bears do the second half offensively that helped this team move forward? What did y'all see?
They stuck with the game plan as far as running. And then they stopped just throwing the underneath pass. They started throwing deep passes. So it was like, okay, even when the O-line broke down, whatever the coordinator and the head coach said to Justin Fields, he did it right because, okay, we know the coordinator was Aaron Rodgers' quarterback coach. So if you look at Aaron Rodgers over the years, Aaron Rodgers' O-line was trash. He had to create. Barring like last year and the year before that, they had one of the top O-lines. But before that, he had to create. And you saw that in Justin Fields today. So they let him do what he do. They didn't try to make him sit back there and just be a pocket passer. They told him to go out there and just be the talent that we know you are.
Right.
I'm ready to hear the post game because I believe at halftime they see what happens in football. A lot of times it's almost like going into the military. You have to get the opinion of the people on the front line. So I believe that they probably asked him what's going on out there. What can we do good? And they probably got his opinion. And when you start involving the players, you can get more out of what you're looking for.
Yep.
So,
yeah, to that point, I think in the first half, a lot of their plays were predictive. So 50% of their passes were screens. So you kept looking for passes to be very short. The defensive line was almost holding back a little bit, but we were not, even when we completed the passes, it was for a gain of maybe 4 yards. When they came out after halftime, they actually opened up the offense. They started looking down the field. You saw Justin Fields being a little bit more patient in his pass instructions as well. He looked for the second and third move. We knew he could have ran anytime that he wanted to, but he decided, not to do so and kind of fought that tendency. And I think that made a major difference. Also, I always say one of the change in plays was when he took another late hit and the entire offensive line came to his defense. Yep. All of them were like, hey, I don't want to be the one that get to argue about being in a fight with somebody. So everybody was looking to get their licks in. Lucas Patrick was in the middle of that. Some of the other players. So I think that says a lot when your team is behind you and they're going to support you. And as long as the other team does that, they're going to have to react and respond to that.
Hey, Bernard, I got to give you the game ball for this one because we sitting up on the text. And doggone it if we say, he was like, let's get a pick six. And Eddie Jackson gets the pick six right after that. I mean, man, you know what? It's one thing to have a coach. I mean, there was a guy who was a referee, what's his name? Hispanic brother. But everybody knows who he is. He would always say, I'm firm, but I'm fair. As a coach, you don't want to hear nobody sit up and say, well, you sucked and you did this. And I don't know, such and such. It's a different era now. I mean, for him to say, okay, yeah, you screwed up, but you know what? It is what it is, the past. Let's just do this. I believe you can do that. Anytime a player knows that this coach cares about them and really believes in them and they actually give them food to eat, i.e. a real solid game plan, and now you bind guys together, it almost reminds me of that Buster Douglas-Mike Tyson fight. If Buster Douglas hadn't fought Mike Tyson any other day, he'd got knocked out, but his father passed away. When your mind is right, when everybody's like, they all against us, they say we suck, we're going to win 2 games or 3 games, don't think they don't read that. But then when you got, just like when you guys were saying too, these guys are disciplined. It's like, okay, all right, we're going to show them. And on a game like this, I'm telling you, last year we would have lost this game. But to see their composure, the way they played, how happy they were for guys to make plays, man, let's just hope that we can take this and build on it and just even get better, man.
Okay. Hey, yeah, I agree with Mo. I thought the Bears coaching staff stuck with the game plan and they didn't panic. They and I know it's easier not to panic when you're not down by that much, right. But they did not panic and they stayed consistent. And also what I thought happened was they started trusting the offensive line a little bit more. I actually thought they were not under the pressure that it appeared to be early in the game. Some of it was just fathom pressure, and then some of it where Fields might have just held on the ball a little bit longer. But I thought the trust in the offensive line also made a difference in the passing game. It wasn't a lot of passes completed, but it wasn't a lot of attempts. It was about 17 attempts. But this is what we were saying even years ago with the Chicago Bears. Let's be a run-first team and let your quarterback develop. And I thought that was so important to do because even when I'm looking at some of these stats, we got a player I didn't even know he was on the Bears. What is his name? Dante Pettis.
Yeah.
He had the long catch of the day, 51 yards. Dave Montgomery had 3 catches for 24 yards. Byron Pringle had 1 for 22. I believe it was St. I can't even pronounce his name, but his last name is St. Brown. What is it playing?
ESB.
Hello? Yeah. He had 1 catch for 18 yards. Darnell Mooney had 1 catch for 8 yards. Khalil Herbert actually had a catch for a loss. And we got to get Cole Kmet on the stat sheet. He had 0. He had 1 catch Cole Kmet has 0 catches today.
Oh, you know what? I got Tevin Jenkins on the phone, man. He was telling me on that last running play when they scored that touchdown, he got beat. And I asked him, what did he do? He just called me back. He said, I couldn't do nothing. I just fell on their ass. He fell on this dude. He fell on 2 dudes. That's my whole thing. Remember what I was saying last year? It's like, you know what? If you get wide open and I can't catch you and I'm close, I'm going to trip you because I'd rather get the penalty than a touchdown. His whole thing was like the guy beat him, just straight up beat him, and he just fell on the dude. I fell out, man. I couldn't script that better.
Okay. So how did the O-line look to you guys? I see one of the Facebook users, I'm sorry, we can't see your name. It said the line was much better in the second half.
Oh, it was much better in the second half.
Hey, Jay that made it in. What's up, Jay? Hey.
Hey. I told y'all. Oh no!
Jay, you gotta give us the Bears on the field. What's going on, Jay?
Man, nothing. I'm good. I'm good. I'm
Like
good.
that shirt, bro.
Hey, I was
Nice shirt.
Hey, I was promoting the podcast at the game in the rain, but yeah, I'm good, man.
Good stuff.
Man, it's a
What
good
did you see, man? What did you see, Jay, from your standpoint out there on the field?
second half adjustments, which we didn't see in the Nagy era. Second half adjustments.
You said it.
I was like, okay, what are y'all gonna do in the second half? And they came out and they made adjustments. They wind up, running the ball a little bit more, which our running game wasn't really tight. But the weather conditions was bad. The weather conditions was really bad, man. But second half adjustments. In the defense, like I said, I'm still concerned about our defensive line not being able to be kind of stout. But second half adjustments was big today. And we was talking, me and my guys was talking, like, Adamakan Sue is still out there. We might need to try to see if we can do something with this defensive line.
So you don't think the defense? I think the defensive line did all right, man. Trey Lance was uncomfortable that whole game, bro.
He was.
Defensive line.
What you got, Mike?
I'm specifically talking about the run defense.
The interior, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I think you call it into old memory. So you're going back into your static memory of previous years. Let's keep this straight, okay? The defense gave up 10 points in the first half and then threw a shutout for the second half. So anytime you hold another team, remember San Francisco is a highly rated team, and they're already picked by many teams, by many other pundits, to go for much further in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
This was no easy win, and the defensive line did hold up. They had a number of sacks on them, and you also saw them shifting and not just giving up easy runs. Multiple people win the ball. I like what I'm seeing.
Hey, Plank, I'm gonna piggyback on you real quick. We're gonna talk about the two announcers. They're Super Bowl caliber team, and I just don't know what's happening with them. It's just weather's just so bad, and can I have my knee pads back? And I just don't know what it is. The Bears anyway, but Trey Lance, he may be able to figure it, and deep. All right, that's as best as I could do on a sort of program with kids. But if this was midnight, y'all were here, and it ain't nothing nice. It was everything what I didn't like about the announcers. It was really less about what the Bears did and everything about what the 49ers didn't do. But Debo was supposed to go off. He had 52 yards. Trey Lance was supposed to go crazy. He got sacked. How many times he got sacked?
2 times officially.
Our defense sucks. Shut out in the second half.
Right.
I think we need to go ahead and try to, get us a deal with Fox and just do Bears Banter on Fox, because we'll do a better job. At least we won't lie or be buffers.
Yeah, I thought let's stay on the defense right now.
Yeah.
I thought the defensive line did a real great job today. I thought they made Trey Lance uncomfortable. I mean, with him being a mobile quarterback, yes, of course he was able to scramble and get some yards on some plays, but they made him uncomfortable almost the entire game. The pocket looked like it was collapsing on him almost every other play. I had to give it to them. I mean, all the guys. I mean, then I think in the second half, Roquan came alive. I don't know. He was sleepwalking the first half. I mean, a couple of times he just fell by a pile. Looked like he was just trying to get on the stat sheet. I don't know. But in that second half, Roquan woke up. I mean, Briscoe was playing like a man possessed. Jalen brought back the memory of Peanut Tillman. I don't know. They may have to check and make sure Peanut didn't put on the uniform today. Because that was
number 33, right?
right, with the same number on it.
Same number and
It
everything.
perfectly executed. There was actually plays that when I looked at the game that there was several face mask plays that should have been called against the 49ers where they was actually literally grabbing the Bears defensive players face masks just to keep them from sacking Trey Lance, right? It was quite a few face masks that I thought would miss. But overall, I mean, we got an Eddie Jackson pick today. I mean, I know he got ran over the one play in the end zone, but he caught that pick. So
yeah, but it's like you go run into a train, though.
Right.
But that's my assessment on the defense today.
I think I think they're trying to find an identity.
Yeah.
Under Nagy, we lost our way. Like, yeah, granted, his first year, which he got lucky, we had all the pieces in place. He just didn't know how to coach it. Whereas with Eberflus, you can tell he want to hit people in the mouth, regardless of how much talent we have or so-called don't have. We still smacking them in the mouth. I saw when Roquan landed on top of Trey Lance, when he tackled him, and Trey Lance took his time getting up. That's the type of environment that everybody's used to the Bears having, just the monsters of the midway. Like, when you come here, you need to know that you're going to leave with a bloody nose. You know what I'm saying? Like, not the finesse offense and all that stuff. No, y'all from California, y'all coming over here to this crazy weather. We're going to let it be known where you are in Chicago.
I love that physical end, because when Jalen punched the ball out, everybody looked at that, but what y'all didn't see, Brisker gave him that thing at the end. He was like, oh, I love it. What I'm gonna tell you something, man. What I've seen, to me, and I'm gonna be a Bears fanboy for been a whole life, and I will be. What I love seeing on the defense, when guys had that whole mentality, beat me there, don't meet me there. I can't even count the number of tackles that they made. It was at least 3 dudes over there. Dudes are running to the ball, man. And like I say, you may not make every tackle. You may not get fumbles every time, but if you keep doing it, if you do it 100 times and you get 2 fumbles, that's 2 fumbles you wouldn't have got. And as we saw in this game, when Jalen punched that ball out, that kind of changed. That started changing. I think they were kind of really down because 49ers were able to move the ball a little bit. And when they got that fumble, it's kind of like everybody looked around. It's like, we could get this game.
Right.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I just like the fact that they never quit.
Yep.
They never stopped. They never stopped. It was just continue. Like, okay, we get the ball back. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. And that was the thing. It was just a non-stop effort for the whole team. For the whole team, it was a non-stop effort for the whole team.
The only thing I didn't like about the defense.
Turned it to Mike Alden and start fighting in the middle of the doggone game.
I didn't do anything like that, man.
I was trying to see if that was Mike Alden right in the game.
No, Plank, come on, man. The only thing I didn't like early, and they may have had a conversation about, the Bears missed a lot of tackles early.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
They were like right there, and it was like they were just. I was like, the dude is standing right there.
Yeah, they did. They did
missed a lot of tackles, but they cleaned that up.
Right.
Going forward in the game, but we got to get better tackling, because instead of giving up 5 or 6 yards, we could have a guy at a 1 yard, maybe a 1 yard loss.
Yep.
And because the thing was, they were in position to make the play. You just got to make the play now, you know. And that was my take on the defense, especially early. Hey, I'm like, man, we right here.
There was somebody that just made a comment saying the Bears want an indoor stadium in Arlington Heights. You know what that reminds me of? Remember back, some of us are kind of old. Remember when the Vikings had the outdoor stadium, was the Met or whatever it was? That was like the 12th man, big time, man. When I was a kid, my cousin took me to a Vikings game in like December. That was the coldest thing I've ever experienced. It's like sitting in an igloo with a tank top and shorts in Alaska in January. It is bad, and the wind chill is high. But what happens is, as players, when you start playing more, when you start playing more in that weather, I mean, you never get used to it, but you can deal with it. But guys, like, say, from warm weather places like Miami or somewhere south, they come up in there, it becomes a 12th man. if when whatever we go to Arlington, we won't have that advantage if we got a dome. It'll just be echoes.
I mean, I've heard that they were talking about a retractable dome, but what they're trying to do, honestly, they're trying to keep up with the Joneses. Remember, Chicago is what the third biggest market in the United States. So
with the smallest stadium is 65,000 people.
So
too.
with that being said, you have Dallas with Jerry World, you have LA with their two-team stadium, and then you would have our stadium. They're trying to make it like a Super Bowl attraction. And then you got Vegas. They just, put their stadium together. So they're trying to make it a Super Bowl attraction and bring people over. So that's the point of the stadium. Like, have we been winning in Soldier Field? I don't think we'll be trying to leave, or meaning the Bears will be trying to leave.
But real talk, Mo,
it always sound like Arlington Heights ain't on Earth, man. I live right around there. It's not that far.
No, tailgate at Plank's crib.
Right.
Tailgate at Plank.
Man, that's far.
But anyway. Hey, but you know what though? but real talk though, Mo, we can't use Las Vegas because Las Vegas can have a stadium with a doggone vacant lot and 3 like lawn chairs, and they still gonna fill it. Come on, it's Vegas.
I've been to that stadium and it's trash, man. You would think anywhere in Vegas, it's trash, bro. Like it ain't worth it. Like it's just the experience of going to Vegas. That's all it is. But the stadium, you would think with all the money they make in Vegas, that stadium would be one of the best. That stadium is trash, man.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I'd like to thank everybody who's watching us on YouTube and Facebook, and those who are watching it in the Bears Banter Facebook group. The reason your name is not shown, right at the top of the post, you'll see there's a permission statement that's saying you're given permission for your name to be shown. So if you click that statement, then your name will be shown when you make comments. And that was Larry Patterson on some of the posts earlier.
No, Sharon read the message.
She sure did. Hey, well, you know what? Now let's get to this. All the national broadcasters, I think it was 100% that said the Bears was going to lose this game. Let's look at our record and then let's talk about the game a little bit more. Let's see what we had right here on Bears Banter. Okay, hold on, let me pull that up. Okay, here we go. Right here, we have. Oh, that's the wrong thing. See what's happening when you're trying to work without your glasses on.
Dang, the sun.
All right, there we go. We got Guy. Guy's 1-0. Quick is 0-1. I'm 1-0. We had started Quick off 0-2.
We talking about.
Right, man. How y'all gonna start me off 0-2, man?
We had
that's
Tammy
what happened to
non-believers. Tammy feel better. Tammy was a little under weather today. That's why she wasn't able to make it on the broadcast. Feel better, Tammy. Clank 1-0. Mo 1-0. Let's look at some of the scores that we had. Guy had the Bears winning 28-24. I had the Bears winning 17-10. Mike,
that was right on the money.
Mike had the
17-10. I'm about to call you up there.
all day,
San Francisco winning 27-21. Tammy had the Bears winning 24-20. Jay had the Bears winning 16-13. Plank had the Bears winning 2. Oh, we can't accept
nothing. It was close though. You almost won, man. For a minute,
it was looking like it was gonna come in like that.
It sure did, didn't it?
I was getting nervous, man. It's like, oh shoot.
He said
the North Cook County.
Most teams do not lose their name unless they're not copyrighted. Not say copyrighted. If the city actually fights to try to keep the name, but it's very seldom where a team plays at. They keep the name. Most of these teams do not play in the city that they're in. You know, they play in the suburbs of that city. Right. So I don't think that part really makes a difference as far as the name. And they could be down in Naperville and it'll still be Chicago Bears. It'll be in Springfield. It'll still be Chicago Bears.
Well, like I told people, the New York Jets and the New York Giants both play in New Jersey.
In
So
New
go
Jersey.
figure.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that's not a thing that we even need to discuss.
Hey,
Because
so
the
what's the rumor?
it's gonna still gonna be the Chicago Bears.
I heard a rumor that Jacksonville was talking about if the Bears moved to Arlington, they wanted the stadium. You'd have to give out free Hawaiian Silky and like some $50 Visa credit cards to get people to come to that game. And we're gonna come see them play. And then why would you come from a nice place, Florida? I know the market's different, but you come from that, they're gonna probably be 0-16 because when it hit about November, December, there ain't no palm trees out here then.
Hey, Zeb actually lives in Jacksonville.
Jacksonville, yeah.
Hey, I just want to make a point here real quick for you guys that want to put me at 0-2. I just want to make a real quick point here, right? All right, so on here, this is like, you know, on Mr. Rogers, you can go to the city of make believe, and you know it doesn't cost you a dime to make a pick, right? But I took the Bears plus 6.5, so I'm still a winner. Just
There you go. Hey,
the Bears plus 6.5 and the Steelers plus 7.
You a winner in Vegas, but not.
So you winning because you know the Steelers just won it.
You doggone right.
With 5 seconds left for overtime.
Before you came on here, I said both quarterbacks that Nagy picked both won today.
Hey, your record right here started off with a sag, but with that plus 6, you got you a piece of the bag.
Yeah.
Hey, let me take a quick break. Hold on 1 minute. We'll be right back. Yeah, that's Twin Connection and Epsilon Beta Foundation is going to Costa Rica July 20 to July 24th. On that commercial, you can see how you could book that trip. Okay, let's get back to the Bears game. Okay, hey, now, what we did have, the biggest surprise of today, and I know the weather was bad, was Santos, see the ball, kick the ball, missed 2 extra points. I mean, should we be concerned, or we could just kiss it off?
No, you know why? You should be concerned because I'm gonna tell you what, they changed the grass, number one, because the field was horrible. And I know, you know, as professional players, regardless of what type of weather, inclement weather, whatever you play in, you should still make plays. Man, them dudes is out there looking like the Silver Surfer after halftime, man. Everybody was sliding. So, but he's gonna have to try to make those. It is what it is, but they changed the grass. Not only is it new, it's slick. Cancel the show or pause. We need Tammy, man. Better get Tammy. She's like the great version of Better Call Saul. When problems come down or things ain't right, we call Tammy. Just saying.
You didn't read the other thing, guy. Hit the red button. Subscribe. No.
Right. I don't think I actually don't think it's a concern, but the field was bad today. I mean, I didn't see it on TV, but I was there. But just when guys got tackled, you could see the puddles coming up.
Yeah.
The field conditions was really bad. It actually rained. We was like, okay, it's gonna do this the whole game. It actually rained. It wasn't no sprinkle. It wasn't no shower. It was like straight up rain. So as far as Santos, I don't think we need to be concerned about him missing a couple of extra points.
Hey, real quick, hey Jay, because the grass looked thinner than it normally is there.
Yeah. It was a lot shorter. Shorter. You can actually see the players' shoes. You know, normally it's on the field. You really don't get a chance to see. You don't get a chance to see their shoes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it was real thin. And I think had it not been raining, it actually would have been. The field would have been okay.
So it looked like they try to make a faster surface look like.
But I was gonna say that's my question to you guys. You guys have played college ball. You guys played at the next level. How much of a difference is that? Like, just say, for instance, if it's not raining, just like a normal sunny day or even an overcast day where the field is dry, how much of a difference as a receiver or as a defensive back it is for having that type of grass as opposed to that stuff we had prior to.
Well, I mean, it's a big difference because it's a faster track. It's a faster track. So it's a big difference. That Bermuda grass, which is what they just put down, they went to the Bermuda grass, a lower cut type of grass, and that's what it is. It's just a lower type of grass.
Okay.
And it doesn't grow where, like I said, you can actually see the player's shoes on Bermuda grass versus, the regular, because they was using Kentucky bluegrass prior to this. So it's a faster surface.
It's going to be real interesting because the Bears have always been known to reside the field, and with these conditions that they had today, it's going to be real interesting to see how much they're going to have to redo to the field, especially with the lower playing surface.
Okay, well, let me answer that question, man. I'm gonna play devil's advocate, bro. You in the NFL, you play in Chicago with some of the worst weather in sports, meaning outside. So you need to make those extra points. Now, these weren't field goals, man. So with that being said, if he does that again, like within the next 2 or 3 games, man, it's time to go.
I don't think he is, though.
That's the problem.
But
that would be a problem. That would be a problem.
From my standpoint,
his body language. I'm going off of his body language. He started putting his shoulders were slumped and everything. You know what I'm saying? Like if you look at let's just say Robbie Gould, if he missed, you would still say like, all right, we good. You know what I'm saying? I got it on the next go round. His body language was off on that first one. His body language was off, and then it led to that second one he missed. So you got to pay attention to that, man.
Was it windy out there, Jay? It didn't look windy. I know the ground was wet, but it didn't look windy. Those balls kind of.
It was because that wind. Not the wind, but the rain. It was that sideways rain. Those conditions was bad. If you went out there, those conditions were really, really bad. They were bad.
I played in a baseball game, man. I can't remember what city it was, and it was a difference between we were from Kentucky. We were from AstroTurf to Kentucky bluegrass to the other stuff. The difference being is like it's faster. The lower grass is much faster, so we have to kind of protect the gap. So if you see guys on outfield, I know it's a football show, but this is all I know. I play right field. So if I'm hitting against a left-handed guy that's like a gap hitter, I'm moving further off the foul line because I know it's faster. Because once that lower grass or AstroTurf, when it hits the outfield, it takes off. It's just much, much faster. And you kind of like can't run full speed because if it's real slick, and even if you got cleats in the ground, you're still going to slide. So I think Santos is just an adjustment. You got to think we've had this grass for a minute. Now we've got this new grass, and it's an adjustment for everybody. I don't expect them to do that. I hope not, but I don't expect them. I expect them to be okay. They might even maybe do some practices and do some stuff in the field. We'll see.
Yeah, hey, let's get some grades in as far as offense, defense, and coaching. What are your grades offensively, the totality of the game? Quick, you can start it off as far as grade offense.
I really can't give a grade on today because of, I could give them a B, but I can't really, just really be like, because looking at field stats, guys, you know what I'm saying? The only thing that I like as far as they were open. So I used to always complain about Nagy's offense. These guys wasn't open. These guys were open. So but I can't really, they ran the ball well, but it's like, I want to see some more. Like, I want to see some more. What do we do when it's a nice playing condition?
Right.
Like Denny Green, like we are who we thought they are. I want to see, like, I can't give a grade on this. It's like, hey, we won the toilet bowl, right? It was just swirling around, and we was the larger turd today. That's all.
Okay. Hey, guys, you got a grade for offense today, guy?
Oh, absolutely. Offense, I'm gonna give like maybe a C+. And the reason why I'm gonna give them a C+ because in the second half, just like most, they made adjustments and quick. They made adjustments. That's all you could ask for, to have a game plan from quarter one, quarter two, and then you go 3, 4 and say, we're going to wing it, to now where, look, this is what we're doing. The conditions suck and such. This is what we're going to do now. That adjustment was everything. Defense, I'm going to give them a B+. And the reason why is, like I said, you got a Super Bowl caliber team that doesn't score a point in the second half. Special teams left a little bit to be desired. I might give them a C-, but coaching, I got to give an A+, man, because I'm going to tell you right now, when it came to the adjustment, to have a coach to sit out there and not just like what Jay used to just preach all the time. You coach and you run the play, you get what they give you, instead of saying, I'm going to run this play regardless. So I got to get a coach an A+.
Okay, like Herm Edwards would say, you play to win the game.
That's it.
Hey, Plank, what you got as far as I got one a little bit farther with defense, but we getting pressed for time, so you can share your defense and coaching grade too, if you like.
Okay, offense, I would give them a C+, B-. We still got 3 scores, and especially we made the adjustments and got 3 scores in the second half. If you look at how we did last year, we really didn't score very much at all after halftime. So that's absolutely a plus. As far as defense, I'm giving defense an A-. They came up with multiple sacks, took the ball away a number of times, and held an NFL team under 11 points. That's great. Coaching, I'm giving them an A, because you can actually see the entire culture and everything that the Bears did. So they brought it today.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna get a coaching A. I'm gonna get a defensive A. I'm gonna give the offense a C, and I'm gonna give special teams. Special teams, I'm gonna give a D, really, because they missed field goals. It was a couple of times that they brought out some balls and got tackled before the 20th. So I give the special teams a D. Hey, Jay, what you have?
Well, the coaching staff, I give an A, and I just want to quickly comment to somebody that just said we think it's Super Bowl. No, we ain't thinking Super Bowl. Rodney Purdy Sr. No, we're not thinking Super Bowl. We're not thinking Super Bowl.
Purdy. Oh, man.
So don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. We're not thinking Super Bowl, but this was a game that was laid out for them to actually take. And I still say, because I'm not Kyle Shanahan, I don't claim to be as smart as he is, but I just still think he made a mistake with starting Trey Lance. But to go back, I give the coaching staff, I give them an A. The defense, I give them a B. Offense, I give them a C+. And the plus is because they came out and scored 3 touchdowns in the second half. Yeah. And the special teams, I give them a D- because it was a couple of Rodney must be a Packer fan. Exactly.
No, he a Saints fan.
It was a couple of times that Dante Pettis did some fair catching, and I'm like, okay, dude, catch the ball and run on some punts. So I'll give the special teams a D-, outside of the 2 extra points that we missed.
Okay. Hey, Mo, what you got as far as coaching and offense, defense, special teams grades?
Coaching, I'm gonna give them an A+, man, because the simple fact that even though they ran the plays, the players didn't. In the first half, the players weren't really in the right positions, but they called the right plays, and they made the adjustments in the second half. Offense, I'm going C. They did what they had to do in the second half, meaning no major turnovers, stuff like that. And then defense, I'm going A. They held it down pretty much the whole game. Barring the rookie did get burned, number 6, he just lost sight of the receiver. But other than that, I didn't see any major mistakes. And then special teams, y'all already know. Your boy's giving them an F.
You gonna give him the finger?
I'm giving them.
You gonna give him that one?
They gotta go.
They ain't right, man.
Horrible all game, man.
Mo, you got to do the dramatic effect, man. I'll be like,
You gotta do it like this.
Quick, what you have?
All right, so hey, let me go through mine real quick. I give the defense a A-. They really solidified. Just got to work on tackling a little bit. I didn't want to get an offensive grade because I really can't judge what they. I give them an incomplete, basically. Even though they made the adjustments and things like that, it was like a tale of two halves coming out. Special teams, nah, that ain't gonna work. No. And so what was so crazy about it was that the Bears special teams in the preseason was like,
man,
lights out.
Return every. I'm like who are these?
But Bayless Jones, was Bayless in today? He was out, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was out.
Yes, he was out.
There you go.
Bayless wasn't the only one returning the ball in the preseason,
Right.
though. That's what I'm saying. It was like they were starting on the 40 almost every offensive possession when they were running. So the special teams was hot garbage. And then I see that we're gonna have to use more towels during the actual
I know
kicks, and that's what it was, I think. And then that was what it was, man. But offensively, I don't want to give them a grade because I don't want to give them a C or a lower because they did win the game and had 3 touchdowns. But it's like, I think we're going to score way more points than we have in the past, and it's going to be fun to watch. That's all I'm going to say.
I agree.
Okay. And the interesting thing about the offense today was Montgomery ran real hard, but it looked like Khalil Herbert actually made the most of his carries.
His center of gravity is much lower. His center of gravity is much low on this grass, so he was able to get a little more grip than Montgomery. Montgomery looked like he was kind of like toe tapping, and Herbert was just like hitting it. You know what I'm saying? So maybe. I don't know, but like if we watch all them old Steve Sable films, the NFL films, and them teams, them great teams that win 7-0, 7-3. I know it was an ugly game, but it's all about that dub.
Well,
that's a great observation from being a former running back. It's not only your cleats, but in bad conditions, it is of your adjustment of running on your toes or to running flat-footed does make a difference on how well you could cut. So that was a great point. So
where I got that from though? Remember Darren Sproles? When Darren Sproles were playing bad weather, it just seemed like he would do pretty good because his center of gravity, he was much smaller, more compact. So he didn't have as much stride. He wasn't longer. He was a little more compact. So he's kind of able to sort of take that and kind of use it to his advantage. But you get a guy like Eric Dickerson, a big guy, they're going to be slipping and sliding.
I'm looking at it different. San Francisco had pretty much all of the offseason to study the Bears. And we all know how talented Montgomery is. So it's like, okay, we're going to key in on him and not because everybody knew that the game plan was run, and then pass. So we're going to key in on a top running back, but they didn't study Herbert, and we got a glimpse of Herbert last season when Monty went down and Herbert did his thing. So they didn't really key in on him. So when he did come in, they were pretty much already tired, and he runs pretty much the same way as Monty. You know what I'm saying? With the power, and then he got the quick shifts. So he did his thing though.
They was drinking that 3 and 14 Kool-Aid. That's why they didn't do the intel on him. A whole lot of guys. I mean, Jay hit it on the spot this last game. He's talking about they're going to shock a lot of people because a lot of people run into this 2 and 15, 3 and 14. Oh, they're not going to be that good. I guarantee you right now, the Packers are at the crib right now trying to find a playbook, trying to look at this game back and forth, man, because they don't want to get embarrassed in Green Bay.
And you just mentioned the Packers. They get shut out right now. It's 10-0 Vikings. It's 10-0 Vikings right now.
It is. They're getting spanked
but
right now.
It was a lot of San Francisco 49er fans at Soldier Field. And when I tell you they was drinking the Kool-Aid, they was talking to us like, we ain't even go. Okay. As we leaving out the stadium, they all walking back to their cars with their tail between their legs because that second half was a big big adjustment, man. I cannot stress how big of an adjustment that second half was, man.
Yeah.
And you gotta get a credit to the coaching staff. And again, I've been saying it the last few weeks. We had 3 penalties for 24 yards.
Mm-hmm.
San Francisco had 12 penalties for 100 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Ding, ding, ding.
Discipline football.
Yep.
Will take a less talented team
Yep.
a long way.
Yes.
Hey, ponder this for a minute, Batman.
Here you go.
Ponder this 1 minute. Ponder this 1 minute. A lot of people were mad when we were talking about the people that had to go from last year's team.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
When you change the culture, you have to change the people in the culture.
Absolutely.
In order to get the results that you're looking for.
Absolutely.
The culture has been changed. And Uber Eats has all of the people that he wants to, his chess pieces that he can move around. He doesn't have to argue with anybody because it's his team, it's his way. And you know that, you don't have those long-term veterans that have been there for a long time. It's just, this is what we're going to do and this is how we're going to do it. And people are drinking the Kool-Aid. And so now they're getting the results that they're looking for. That's why I said I think on offense, the Bears are going to score a ton of points this year. It won't be 28th in the league as far as points. They scored 19 on crappy conditions. So, and even in my, I had them to score 21, at least 21. But
hey, quick, great points. I was happy to see that from the defense today in particular because there was so much, and I know it's only one game. It was so much about, the Bears didn't sign these players. And I agree 100% with you. When you want to change culture, you have to sometimes let other veteran players go. And it doesn't mean that those players are not going to play well wherever they went. They may have excellent seasons, all of them. But guess what? Some of those players may not be around by the time your team get good. So you don't want to, in my opinion, you don't want to overpay for players that's not going to be around when you're trying to build a new culture like you're doing now. So I was so happy to see different guys' names called and to see guys, even some balls where you knew clearly it was just an incomplete pass, to see guys run after those balls that were just on the ground, right?
Yeah.
And after those balls, even though you knew they wasn't, but you never know. Like Jalen Johnson said, he who runneth after the ball, great things happen.
Great things happen.
Yep. Hey, can I send a shout out? Eberflus already got the shout out from us from our grades. I gotta give Ryan Poles some respect because you know what? We straight up fans, but we keep it 100. I will say this: some people will just be on some craziness. Our offensive line sucks. What has Poles been doing since preseason? Finding offensive linemen. Our wide receivers suck. What has he been doing since offseason? Finding receivers. So people say, oh, no, they suck. They do that. But it's like, oh, doggone if you do it, doggone if you don't. I look at, the fact that I look at the attempt. He understands that the offensive line needs to be upgraded. The receivers as well. And he addressed it. I mean, think about it. A lot of times you would have people say, oh, well, we already know the deficiencies are. And they'll tell you, oh, you guys don't know. You guys aren't out here. This is what we're going to do. But now it's like kind of like the onus is on Poles. I've heard some people say, oh, well, he ain't doing nothing for the offensive line. Ain't doing nothing for the receivers. Well, he's trying. I got to give him respect for that. At least he's addressing the situation, good, bad, or indifferent.
The smart moves that Poles is making is he's not signing people long term. So like I was saying in the last show, this is nothing but a trial period for a lot of the offensive players, especially the O-line. I know I had brought up Tevin Jenkins. This is his trial period, man, because he has like a temperament that was basically his downfall in college. Like all the people say, like he could have been a top 10 offensive tackle had he not had the attitude. So you look at guys like that, and then you bringing in like the receiving core, Pringle, and all those guys. Like, yeah, those were like the replacements. Like he was a replacement on Kansas City. So now he's getting his chance to showcase his speed, his skill. So hopefully that at least one or two of these receivers can complement Justin Fields besides Mooney. I'm a believer in Kmet. Once you get him going and call the right plays for him, like in the red zone, I believe that he'll do his thing. And I'm not even a Notre Dame fan. I can't stand them people. But
especially if they lost to Marshall yesterday.
I can't stand Notre Dame. But I see talent because I don't like Ohio State, sir.
Cut it out. Cut it out.
You
got to get his time.
Like Ohio State.
Uh-oh.
That's why receiver. Hey, that's why receiver you. You better.
No. Roll Tide.
I don't know, man. I don't know. We running a pretty good.
Michigan got a dual quarterback system now, man. So I don't know, brother.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do that. I'm gonna try to do that to premiere that college show this coming weekend. The Bears Banter. We're actually going to spin off a college show real soon. It won't be every week, but it'll be every few weeks. But anyway, as far as let's close on talking about the Bears offensive line, since y'all kind of hint on that, then we'll wrap this up in the next 3 or 4 minutes. Regardless of the condition, I did not hear Bosa's name called much. Braxton Jones did a pretty good job. I know Bosa move around a lot. Now, for the as many of the pundits was saying, this is the worst offensive line in the NFL. Didn't look like it to me. What did it look like to y'all? Did it look like the worst offensive line?
Hey, Frank, me and you can both do this as martial artists. You know what they did to Bosa, which a lot of people don't pick up? They let him do his momentum, take him to his momentum and push him that way. Let him use his momentum against him. And I was just looking at that. I was like, oh, I mean, Bosa he got a little bit, he got in a little bit. But what they did is they realized is, okay, with this field that we got, it's kind of slippery. I know he's a dog, but if he's moving that way, as long as he's away from the quarterback, I'm going to push him that way and let his momentum take him out the play.
Man, it wasn't Bosa. It was that linebacker, man.
It was Lola Falani, whatever his name is, number 25. That dude.
He reminded me of Troy Polamalu out there, man.
He was
everywhere.
He was everywhere.
To talk about the O-line, man, that's why I got to give kudos to the coaching IQ because it's like, they still had a couple of the same people, but they put them in different positions and they called plays to benefit their strengths. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't make Tevin Jenkins. You put him, instead of a tackle, you put him at guard. You know what I'm saying? You brought in the guy to block Bosa, and he did pretty good. So it's like they shuffled him a little bit and saw what worked, and they ran with it.
Yep. And I told y'all the last show, the Bears might have a gem. You got 2 5th-round players that you drafted in the 5th round. And you got one on the left side and one on the right side.
Yep.
On rookie contracts.
Yep.
5th round rookie contracts.
Yeah.
And that Facebook user just said, and I just looked at it. Vikings 17.
Yeah.
All I'm gonna say.
It's a
today's his birthday too.
I'm gonna put hats out to Sam Mustafa. I gave him a hard time last year and being that turnstile. He wasn't having it today either. So the offensive line showed up today and put some stuff down there. So
we didn't hear his name once, did we?
Right.
Hey,
we didn't hear.
What I want to do before Christmas is I want to call up Ryan Pose, and I want to go shopping with him and tell him I only have $100.
Right. I need to buy all these gifts
for $100, and he's gonna make it work. That's the thing. We get so caught up on name brand and big name stuff. But Kroger is serviceable.
Right.
Yes, it is.
Right.
So that's that's what we not signing him. We ain't getting him. We not getting him.
Right.
We not getting him.
Right.
You know, we talked before. We still in the middle of a rebuild because what you're talking about with the rookie contracts and all, and then the short term contracts that he has, and it being a tryout for people, because when they really start implementing their stamp on what's going to be going on here, some of these people still won't be here. So it's going to still be shuffling in. It was just amazing when the announcers were calling catch by. I'm like, that dude on the roster, who the hell is that? like who the hell is that? Like the guy that caught the touchdown, like, man, when did he get here? Like, hold on.
Yeah.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait to watch the game on TV because it's a difference seeing it on TV versus seeing it live.
So
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Hey, we gotta get that down to Larry Patterson. That's
on the score, Larry. Yeah, I want to thank Larry Patterson for giving us an update on the Packers score. And what's your friend name? The Bears hater, Erica. Is that her name, Mike?
That's
the ultimate Packers fan. Hey man, this Facebook been quiet with them dudes. I swear to God.
I gotta take my glasses off for that one.
Hey, Packers fans, are y'all out there?
Everybody.
Hey,
say cheese.
My old brother.
Hey, like they said like he said at 8 Mile. Everybody
right now,
Aaron Rodgers. Put your hands up around me.
Right now, Aaron Rodgers just threw an interception. So now the Vikings got the ball back.
She's loving that.
So now the fans are witness protection.
So is it safe to say that that Adams was made Aaron Rodgers?
Adams is top 3 easy. As soon as he got traded, I said, y'all out here talking all these Packers and stuff. Y'all don't realize what y'all lost. Y'all lost the Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
My brother say, yeah, we could find another Adams. No, you can't.
No.
They don't just drop out of college like that now.
I just put on Facebook praying for my Packer fan friends.
Hey, what's up, Mike Patterson? Who tuned in today to Bears Banter, those who's watching it on YouTube, those who's watching it on Facebook, and those watching it on Twitch TV. Who the Bears playing this week? I didn't look at the schedule.
We're playing the Green Bay in Green Bay.
Packers.
Green Bay.
We need to beat the brakes off them dudes.
Sunday night.
Sunday night.
I can't wait.
One game at a time, baby. One game at a time.
Keep the momentum going, man.
One game at a time.
Okay,
Watch
so
the
look
Vikings
for us
film
Friday night for the pregame show. Peace.